So my name is Maria. I'm one of the social media coordinators for this platform. I'm Romanian. I've been working for Maastricht for about a year now, and I study at UCM. So I'm focusing on multiple things.
And then I am Miruna. I am also from Romania. I am a third-year data science and AI student, so I'm at the Faculty of Science and Engineering. And I am also a social media coordinator for mymaastricht. I work with Maria. Um, yeah, I've been working here for, I think, almost a year as well. And I am really looking forward to hear all of your questions today.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ronja. I'm also working in mymaastricht, and today I'll be answering more of the questions in the chat. I've worked for mymaastricht for 2 years now. I'm originally from Finland, and I study medicine and international business here.
Okay, so let's get started with this presentation. So as I said previously, this presentation is going to take, or as Ashley said earlier, this presentation is going to take about 45 minutes. First, we're going to talk about the city, let you know a little bit about the neighbors or places that you can find housing. Then we're going to talk about websites where you can find housing if you haven't already. We're going to talk about bikes and transport and how you can make your way around the Netherlands, living essentials such as how to find a job, how to find a GP, how to get health insurance if you need to get health insurance and all that, and also how mymaastricht can help you. So what is mymaastricht? mymaastricht is a one-stop information platform to help new students settle and find their feet in the city. We do this by providing information on anything from finding the best drinks in town to applying for the subsidies. And it was created by students for students, and it's supported by Maastricht University, Zuid University of Applied Sciences, and Gemeente, which is the municipality of the city. And if you want to stay social with us, here are some QR codes for our Instagram page and for our TikTok.
So now we're going to dive into why you would choose Maastricht as a city. The first thing that we like to mention is it's really diverse and international. There are 122,000 inhabitants, and out of these, 22,000 are students. So there's a very large community of students here. There's always something to do or people who share your interests. Out of these students, 55% are international. So if you've ever had any doubts about not fitting in here or not finding your place, if it's the first time that you are going to be leaving your home country, you are definitely going to find the right people and support here. Also, 40% of the staff are international at Maastricht University, so that adds up on this idea. And geographically speaking, we are at the heart of Europe. Why we say that is because we have a lot of airports nearby. So you can also check out the city's airport, Maastricht-Aachen. It is shared with Aachen, which is a German city, but it is a smaller venue. So you might not find all of the international connections that you are going to be looking for. In that case, you can turn to Eindhoven Airport or Schiphol, which is in Amsterdam. Sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation. I don't speak Dutch. And then you can also check out a lot of airports in Belgium or Germany to make your life easier if that's a better deal for you. And then that, of course, goes hand in hand with traveling, because you don't only want to take trains to catch flights. You can also just go around and visit and make memories as a student here. So yeah, we are in a great location for all of these things. This is a sneak peek of our website. So just to get accustomed with how to find information on our platform, every single part of these navigator that you see, which is our logo, is representative of one topic. So you can see finances, community, housing, events, healthcare, sports, transport, and the city, which are kind of self-explanatory given the widgets. And then we also have a blog where we try to go into more detail about all of the topics that we are talking about in posts or in TikToks or in Reels. These blogs are meant to capture also fun events or things that you may not have known about Maastricht, but also to provide guides for you. So for instance, we have the step-by-step guide to finding housing, which might be relevant for you right now. So just so you know, that also exists. And then, yeah, I think this is most about our website. You can see all of the logos and their why they are there. And then what should you visit in Maastricht? Obviously, there's a lot of things to do, even if it's a small city, but these are some of our top picks that we think you might want to try out when you visit. So Vic is one of the centers of the city. It's located very close to the train station, so it's a very easily accessible place. They have a lot of great restaurants. There's a lot of nice things to see just by walking around. And then on the top right corner of the slide, you can see St. Peter, which is one of the nicest places, in my opinion, to catch a sunset. It is on the top of a hill, and you have this fortress there and also underground caves. So you can get a bit of the history of the city. Then we also have the Marina Basin, which is the second picture on the bottom, which is really also a nice place just to spend your time or grab some tasty bites. And then Staatspark is, I think, one of the centers of student life here in Maastricht. It is a park, as the name says, and it's where a lot of the introduction days, picnics go on, or where students just go to take a bit of fresh air in the exam periods.
So to talk a little bit about housing, we recommend to start looking for housing very early. We are already in June, but we usually recommend students to start looking already in April or May, because there is a housing crisis in the Netherlands, and it's usually very difficult to find housing, but that doesn't mean that you would not be able to find housing. So here are some of the options that we offer or that we recommend for housing. First of all, there is Maastricht Housing, which is the official website of the university or of the universities, but there is a 35 euro fee if you want to sign up for it in order to be able to get on the waiting list for those houses. They're safe, they're verified, and there's good options because they're all student houses. Then there are other social housing options such as like Maas Valley, Servages, or Woonput, which you can find, and those are some cheaper options usually. Or you can also go for private landlords either on Facebook or Perarius, Camernet, but be careful because oftentimes it happens that there are a lot of scams, especially on Facebook. People are taking pictures from other announcements or even other groups in other countries, and they post them on Facebook, and they're like, oh yes, this is a great house, you have to pay me 400 euros before you are able to have a viewing, or without even seeing the house. Make sure that you request a video call because that is the safest option, or come visit it in case you have this option. And we also recommend that you make a template message, and which you can send to multiple people either on Perarius or on Facebook, and this kind of like saves you time. And we also have Xior, the student hotel, or Stay Okay, or Wow House, which are options that are sometimes on the more expensive side. For example, the student hotel, you can find rooms, but they're usually above 1,000 euros. However, you have free cleaning included once a week, as well as that they offer you a bike. There's also Xior, which is another student housing option, and Stay Okay Hotel is basically a hotel that you can use for short-term solutions because it's quite cheap. So another thing is that the university advises you not to arrive in town if you do not have accommodation secured, because it's very difficult as a new student to come here and start looking for housing, and maybe have to do couch surfing or stuff like that. But sometimes it's better or easier to find housing in the city once you're here after you arrive, but it's best to already have housing and make sure that you're safe and you don't have to worry about it after coming. Now, some housing tips and tricks. turn on notification for different Facebook groups. There are a lot of groups that you can join on Facebook for housing in the Netherlands. You can also look for housing outside of Maastricht. You can look for housing in Herle or in Valkenburg or Belgium, which is also a cheaper option. And Belgium is only a 15-minute bike ride away from most universities in Maastricht, so that's also an option. As I said before, you can make a template message that you can send to housing posts, introduce yourself, say what you'd like, what you would like to live in the house, some things about you so people get an opinion and maybe even send some pictures. And I would recommend making them as pleasing as possible to increase your chances of getting a place. Be open and genuine. Tell people things about yourself and things that you're looking for in the housing. For example, if you prefer a clean house, or if you prefer a quiet house, or if you would like to have roommates that you hang out with. And also, yes, it might take a while for you to find housing, but don't be disheartened because you will find something if you keep searching. You can also join WhatsApp groups from different universities because a lot of students are posting housing because they're either going on exchange for half a year or because they're simply moving out. Here are some of the neighborhoods that you can move in, and also the place of the faculties. We have UCM, SBE, and law, and those are placed in the city center as well as FASOS. And we have the Centrum, the Brussels Support, Mariaberg, and then on the other side of the river, we have Vic, which is another very central area. It's a very nice place to live. And on this side, we also have the more sciencey faculties like the data science department, the psychology department, and the medicine department. And this is Randwyk. It's another good place to live. Maastricht is very safe as a city, and I'm speaking from experience because I'm a girl and I have never really felt unsafe here.
Yeah, so now that we have housing sort of sorted out, we're going to be moving on to living expenses. This obviously includes rent. So what should your expectations be regarding rent prices? We estimate that the average of finding a shared apartment, so you only have your room and you share the other facilities with like maximum 6 people, I think, but it depends on the case, of course, is €550. That includes service costs, and that I want to highlight a bit because you should always check whether the price of rent includes service costs or utilities, because then you might have to pay extra compared to the base rent that you see on the listing. And if you would rather have more privacy, or if you just generally don't like the idea of sharing things with people, you can also find studios, which are, yeah, you basically have your own everything. Those range from 1K. They can also be a bit cheaper or a bit more expensive. But yeah, these are our estimates. You can, of course, find a lot of probably even cheaper places than our 550. But yeah, this is just a rough scheme, so you know kind of what to expect. And then also check out our page for financial subsidies, because we're going to be talking about healthcare later. But if you fit some sort of certain criteria, you can also, you might also be eligible for a rent subsidy. And that means that you can get money back on your rent just because, yeah, you fit those boxes. So make sure to check the eligibility requirements and be informed of whether you can get this or not. And then other living expenses that are really important to take into account are groceries, memberships that you might want to have, for instance, if you like going to the gym, study materials, which can often be found online, but sometimes you still need to purchase things for your studies. And then obviously going out, because you are also coming here to have fun and make memories. So we estimate that monthly you would spend around 400 to 600 euro. Of course, depending on your budget and your lifestyle, you can adjust this. But yeah, we also have a bit more detailed posts on our website and Instagram, where we kind of try to break down how much a meal would cost if you buy it from the grocery shop or if you get takeout. So yeah, just check our information and see where your lifestyle kind of fits, so you know what to expect when you come here. And then banking is quite a similar system to everywhere else. However, the one thing that probably most of you are not accustomed with, or at least I for sure wasn't, were Maestro cards. They are a special type of MasterCard, but the logo is with blue and red instead of the red and orange combo. And this is very typical in the Netherlands. A lot of places used to not accept anything else besides Maestro. Now it's gotten a bit better. So for instance, at almost all the grocery, like the supermarkets, you can pay with a Visa or a MasterCard as well. But for instance, I had this experience yesterday. We went to a cafe and we couldn't pay without the Maestro. So it's still very handy to have it. If you want to open this, any bank account, and especially if you want to get this type of card, you might want to check out ABN AMRO, ING, or Rabobank. They all have student accounts. That means that you are not going to be taxed for the administration of the account. It requires registration, but you can do this. You need to first go through the process of getting your BSN, which we're going to see a bit later. But you can also just set up your account with their apps, which is really handy. The system works really well. So if you have the passport with the chip, you can just scan it yourself and the data will be filled in. It is easier for EU students to get these banking accounts than non-EU students, but of course, it's not impossible for people outside of the EU. You can check the specifics of that on our finances page. And of course, always check what the packages offer you before you sign the contract, so to say. So you should be aware of whether they hand out insurances, especially liability and home insurances. So in case something goes wrong in your life, you are covered for at least a part of the damages. Financing your studies is something that we get a lot of questions about, and it is a bit tricky to get this in the Netherlands, but it's yet again not impossible. So if you are a EU student, you are eligible for government aid or study financing. It is available only under certain conditions, so you have to work, and the minimum is to work 32 hours per month. In the case that you are working between 24 and 32 hours, you might also be able to get it, but it's a bit more complicated because they have to assess your case specifically. Now, if you are working 32 hours per month, you're all good to go. You have to put your contract or your salary slips into the Duo website, and then you can also converse with their help desk if anything goes wrong with the application, which is all online. And then there are more types of study financing. So there's the basic grant, they call it, that you can get. It is basically just because you are a student and you are fitting the criteria of working if you are international. If you are Dutch and you live at home, you still live at home, you can also get this, but it's less money. If you are an international, then it is right now around 400. It will be around 300 something next year, as far as I know. And this, alongside with the student travel product, which you get just simultaneously with this, which allows you to travel for free in the weekdays or the weekends. And then also the supplementary grant, which is calculated based on the income of your parents. These will all turn into gifts if you graduate your study within 10 years of starting your student financing. However, you can also look into tuition fee loans. When you see the word loan, it usually means it has to be paid back in some way or another. So this is also a distinction that you should know before. You can check all of this information also on the Duo website, and we have some guides about the process of applying. And then if you are not from the EU and you don't qualify for this study financing, you can look into scholarships. Of course, there are very different specifics here, so we cannot just list all of them on the slides, but you can check out the scholarship page on our website, or if you already know that you are eligible for some sort of scholarship within your faculty, you can always check those pages online or contact the right email address for it, which we will show at the end.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about jobs. A good thing about the Netherlands is that everybody here speaks English, or most people understand English, and therefore Dutch is not really required at most places where you're going to work. Very few places actually require Dutch speaking students. However, you have a lot of chances of finding simply an English-speaking job. And there are also courses that the university offers For Dutch, you have 2 courses that are for free. First, there's Social Dutch 1 and Social Dutch 2, and then you can either get them through the university through your courses, or you can pay for them if you want to learn more. You can find jobs at cafes and restaurants, stores, for the university. For example, me and my colleagues all work for the university, or as a research assistant for different tutors if you would like to focus on something specifically and your tutor is and one of your teachers is offering a research assistant job. You can find jobs on, for example, the UM vacancy board, Inter-UM, Werknl, or Untouchables, or Indeed. You can simply just apply there, send in your CV and a motivation letter, and there you have it. And you can also simply go to stores and restaurants or call them and tell them that you're looking for a job, and if they have any places available, hand in your CV and they might call you back. That's usually the easiest way to get a job in Maastricht. As for how to register with the municipality, it is mandatory to register if you're going to stay here for longer than 4 months, and you can do so online. It takes about 5 minutes. You just need to put in your data, and then they're gonna call you in for an appointment. Usually this can take a while, as in many students complain that they even have to wait for like 2 months to get their registration, but keep in mind that it usually takes a while, especially if there's so many students coming in. You can maybe register earlier on, for example, in July, and then you might have chances to register faster. And we recommend that you register right away anyway. So you can also check our page for more information on how to register. As for airports and transport, it's very easy to get in and out of Maastricht. It's very well connected to multiple cities. It's very easy to get to Belgium and Brussels, for example, or to get to Aachen or anywhere in Germany, honestly, or to get anywhere north from Maastricht, like Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and so on. We have this thing called the OV chip card, which is your travel card around the Netherlands. You can either get an anonymous one or a personalized one. And on the personalized one, you can either put the student travel product that we mentioned earlier, or you can simply get a subscription that offers you about 40% discount based on your needs. And it's about €6 a month. And it's saving you a lot of money if you want to travel a lot around the Netherlands. We have a lot of airports, as I said, the Maastricht-Aachen one, Eindhoven, Amsterdam, Brussels, Düsseldorf, and Cologne. So it's very easy to get to go to multiple other countries, or you can even take buses. For example, there is a Flixbus for €20 to Paris. It does take 8 hours, yes, but it's €20. And then for bikes and transport, there are dedicated bike lanes that get you safely anywhere, and you can get basically anywhere in the Netherlands by bike. But Maastricht usually, as it's a very small city, and it takes you maximum like 10 to 15 minutes, maximum 20 to get somewhere. You can buy a bike on Facebook, Marktplaats, or Swapfiets. They have subscriptions for bikes, and they cost about €20 per month if you do not want to buy a bike yourself. However, it is much cheaper to buy a bike instead of renting one, because a bike can even be €30. So. And also, there is a lot of public transport in the Netherlands. Apart from trains, we also have a lot of buses in Maastricht that you can make your way around the city. So that's also an option if you don't want to bike too much, or if it's too rainy, which happens a lot. And for some biking basics, always make sure to have working lights on your bike, because you can get fined. And I think the fine for every missing bike light is about €70. So you don't want to have €140 bike fine. And never cycle with your phone in your hand. This is because, first of all, it's not safe for you, it's not safe for others, and you don't want to pay again for emergency healthcare, which can be quite expensive. And also remember to always double lock your bike. The Netherlands is a very safe country when it comes to many things, but not when it comes to bike theft, because there is a lot of bike theft, and a lot of students are not locking their bikes properly, and then they end up losing their bikes. So make sure to double lock your bike, or have a really, really strong bike lock.
And then we're going to go into some top tips for arrivals. So some things that you might want to do when you get here. The first thing on the list is to introduce yourself to your new neighbors upon arrival. This might seem trivial or unnecessary, but it really does make a difference to know who your neighbors are and to have a decent relationship with them. This goes hand in hand with the last point, so keep in mind that there are also other people living in your neighborhood, because Maria already told you about fines for biking. I'm here to tell you that neighborhood nuisance is also a fined crime in the Netherlands. So you can also be put in the position of having to pay just because you had a party and you didn't announce your neighbors before. You might want to avoid that because there are better ways of spending your money. Getting to know the trash system is also a super important thing, even though I know it sounds really boring. Where I come from, we don't really recycle. However, in the Netherlands, we recycle everything. And in Maastricht especially, they are really trying to keep up the waste-free city. So there are special places where you should dispose of different types of materials like cardboard, paper, glass, plastic, you name it. There are also set dates on which the trash is picked up. For this, there is an app which is called the Milieu app. You can find more information about this on our website, but that basically tells you exactly when you need to put your trash out, what you need to do, where the closest recycling stations are, and so on. There are special trash bags that you need to buy from the supermarket for your general waste. So just keep in mind that there are a lot of things that you need to know about this. Again, so you don't get fined and so you are eco-friendly and responsible with your trash disposal. Registering with a family doctor is also super important when you get here because many of you might not be used to this structure, but here in the Netherlands, the GP or the family doctor, it is kind of the bridge between you and any other sort of specialist in healthcare. So if you have any dermatological issues, let's say, you don't go straight to the place. You need to go to the GP and get a referral letter to go there. And in that case, it can also be subsidized from your health insurance or from the risk of your health insurance. We're going to see that later. And you also, a lot of the times, cannot get an appointment with a specialist without this referral letter. So make sure to check on our city map where the closest GP state office is to where you're going to be living. And then sign up with them. This is usually possible by just filling a form on their website. But if it takes a call or a private visit, you can also just do that. It probably won't take long. Yeah. And then let's go a bit into health insurance because I already mentioned the health aspect. So first things first, if you are from the EU, you only need the Dutch public health insurance if you are working. So this is a requirement if you consider getting a job here. However, if you don't want to work, usually the European health insurance card covers you. Of course, check your health insurance validity and the terms of your health insurance contract before you come here, just so you know that you are covered in case of an emergency or if you need anything. If you are over 30 years old, which I don't know if it's the case for any of you, but just so you know, you also need to take the Dutch public health insurance. There are a lot of packages here that you can compare using different websites online. We also have a lot of information about this in our websites, blogs, posts, etc. One thing that you should know is that there are different types of risks, so be careful with what you choose in the beginning. This risk is basically what you pay by yourself before the insurance kicks in. And if you are from outside of the EU, you will need to purchase this Dutch health insurance. But there is a possibility for the health insurance subsidy or the zorgtoeslag. The idea for this is that usually you need to be required to have it in order to be able to get the subsidy. So for students, that is mostly the case when they are working, because you are, as I said before, required to get the Dutch health insurance, and then you can also get it subsidized. And in my case, I can say that I only pay 20 euros a month after they give me the money back. So it is a really good deal because it is quite expensive to pay the monthly healthcare in the Netherlands. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. And also, just as a mention for the previous slide that I forgot to make sure that you check if your health insurance provider has a contract, so to say, or an affiliation with the hospital in Maastricht, just so if you ever need like emergency healthcare, you are for sure going to be covered. Register with a family doctor. I've already mentioned it. It is free. Make sure you choose a GP in your neighborhood so that you are close by in case you ever need to go there in a rush. And we really want to highlight the fact that hospital emergency room, so the ER, is only for big emergencies. That is because it can get really easily overly saturated. So you're going to be put into long waits, and you are going to be doing the same basically to other people. And at the same time, you will maybe 99% sure have to pay for it out of your own pocket, especially if you haven't already fulfilled the risk on your health insurance. My friend went to the ER really now, so in the near past, and she has to pay 40 euros just because of that. And the only thing that they did was to refer her to her GP. So this is why I really want to highlight that it's really important to get the family doctor and go through them with every step that you need to do in your healthcare progress.
I had to pay, well, I didn't have to pay. I should have paid 200 euros for an emergency I had, but luckily the insurance covered it. So yeah, you want to avoid that. So please go to your GP first before going to the ER. So next, let's talk a little bit about community and lifestyle. Maastricht has a lot of great bars and restaurants. There are actually more bars and pubs in the city than there are days in the year. So basically, if you want to do something new every day, you have the opportunity that, but I don't think your budget is going to allow that because things can get quite expensive the second you step out of the house. But however, we have really nice bars, really nice cafes. We also have a lot of videos on our Instagram that you can check out and find out where places that you can study or if you want to have a coffee. We also have a lot of communities. We have sports communities, we have theater communities, we have dance communities, we have painting communities, yoga communities, a lot of them, and you can find all of them on our community pages on our platform, or you can also find something about them or on Instagram as well. And we also have a very diverse music and cultural scenes. There are a lot of festivals happening in Maastricht, for example, the Fashion Clash Festival, and many more. Andrea Rio is singing here like twice a year. So if you want to participate in any of those, I think that Maastricht is a great city for that. So why living in Maastricht is good? First of all, because we have a very international community with a Dutch twist. Maastricht has a very Dutch twist, honestly, because I feel like it's one of the few cities in the Netherlands that still has this Dutch vibe to it, or like a very strong Dutch vibe to it, but it also has a lot of international students. There are a lot of student associations and things to do in and around the city. You can visit a lot of things around Maastricht, like Valkenburg, or simply in Maastricht if you want to go cycling or if you want to participate in a sport. It also has the very cozy small town vibe, but again, there are a lot of things to do, and it's very easy to access many other countries in Europe. For example, I traveled to the UK for 35 years back and forth. So what support is available? Here are some emails that you can access in case you need a visa or you want to apply for a scholarship or you have more general questions. You can either go for the visa department, the scholarship department, or the student services center, and they can answer all of your more general questions about living in Maastricht or even things related to your studies. And then if you have a disability, we also have the disability department. We have a well-being movement that has well-being weeks twice a year. And then we also have the Maastricht Summer School in case you need extra credits. However, their courses can get quite pricey. So preferably get your credits from your courses.
Yeah, this is one of the apps that you should keep in mind if you're going to be studying here. It basically centralizes all of the events that are going around in the city, so you know what's up all of the time. You can also come up with your own event if you have something new that you would like for people to join you in. So yeah, for instance, one of our friends has done this Taylor Swift sort of viewing event, and a lot of people joined her. So yeah, if you have any sort of ideas like that, it's really fun to put them into practice. You can scan the QR code on the screen or find it on any app store. And then some key messages that we want to leave you with. Find housing as early as possible, especially now that we are in June. But yes, as Maria said, don't get discouraged because you might still find a lot of opportunities. You just have to keep trying. And a lot of the times you need to wake up early, especially if you are trying to book with Pararius. It really makes a difference if you send a message at 6 a.m., trust me. And then check your health insurance validity and apply for Dutch health insurance if you're going to need it. You want to arrive in early August, or at least that is our suggestion, because it takes a bit of time to get accustomed to everything. And it's really nice to not have to rush straight into courses after landing here. There are also some events going on, introduction days from your own faculty, the INKOM festival, which is designed for fresh new year students, first year students, sorry, to be able to meet each other and socialize. You might find really good friends in these hangouts, or even if you don't want to pay for tickets like this, you can just come explore the city, try to meet up with some people from your WhatsApp groups. So yeah, it's nice to just get a lay of the land, as you say. And then register with the municipality is, yes, one of the most important legal things to do when you get here. After you register with the municipality, you will get your BSN. You can set up a DigiDay account, which is like an app that you have on your phone. And yeah, the way that you converse with all of the authorities here if you ever need any sort of discussions with the police, the healthcare system. So basically, when the COVID pandemic was still going around, the only way for me to know if my results were positive or not were by using my DigiDay app. So it's really important to have it. Get a bank account, as I said, just so you make sure that you can do everything that you want to do. And also really important, actually, if you want to get a job, sometimes it's a bit easier to get the payments sent to a Dutch bank account. However, it's not impossible to get them to an international account. So you're probably going to be fine either way, but just so you know. And then the last thing on the list is to get a bike. Try it out, see how you like using a bike as your main source of transport, and master the trash system so that everything is in the recycle, reuse mindset of Maastricht. And yeah, I've already mentioned INKOM. These are some pictures that you can kind of understand what it is. They have really fun events. There's also people from higher years, so like second years, third years, who can sign up to be your parents, so your mentors. They can let you in on some specifics, also for the life in Maastricht as a student and for your studies maybe. Tickets are, I think, on sale now already. You can check out the INKOM page on Instagram or obviously on Google. But I didn't participate in my year, so if Maria wants to add anything, you can take the reins.
Yeah, I think it was really fun. It helped us get to know the city a little bit. There were also some fun activities included, for example, free bowling or free swimming, or I don't know, just fun activities that we had to do and get to know the city before actually starting the courses. So I really recommend going. I think the ticket when I went, it was about 60 euros, but it's a full week of activities, and I think it's really, really worth it. And lastly, here's some contact information for Maastricht University and Zoud. If you want to contact their Student Services Center, or if you have any questions related to your studies for them. And here is where you can contact us in case you have any questions regarding living in Maastricht or anything else related to your life here. And I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we can also answer them live now.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. That was a really good presentation. I hope everyone viewing found it valuable. Yeah, exactly. So we have about 20 minutes left, and we're all yours to, if you want to ask us any questions in the chat, we can answer them live. Here's one. Hello, for us international students, do we have to start renting our housing before coming? If yes, when should we do so?
Yes, you should definitely start renting before coming. You should start looking for it right now if you don't have it already, because as I said, it's very complicated usually to find housing in the Netherlands. You can look on our website to see exactly what platforms you can use. We mentioned some of them earlier. You can find some on Facebook or Perarius or Kamernet. But it's really important that you find housing on time, so you don't have to look for it once you get here. That's also an option, but it makes things more complicated because you have to keep moving around until you find something.
Yeah. And another thing that I would like to add is that if you find something that you think is really nice for you, especially if it's a good rent, a decent price, a decent location, but the rent only starts, let's say, in October, and you want to start living in Maastricht in late August, then there are also short-term solutions. We mentioned Stay OK already, but you can also try to book an Airbnb for a month. So if you find something like this, don't get discouraged by the fact that you have 1 month that is a bit uncertain, because there are ways to get around this, and it won't end up being that insanely pricier. Of course, if you're going to opt for Stay OK, which is a hostel, you won't have as much intimacy as you would have renting your own space. But yeah, there are ways to handle this as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. Then the next question is, where do I get insurance for my studio? Would a bank provide this when I open a bank account? So yes, so all the major Dutch banks, they also have insurance options, a lot of insurance packages that are also meant for students. So if you look at ABN AMRO or ING or any of those, they have these packages, which are very, very cheap to have. So definitely recommend getting one of those.
If there are any more questions that you may have, otherwise you can also reach us on Instagram or via email.
Yeah, maybe we'll just wait 2 more minutes. Oh, yeah, another question.
Yeah, so we have a question about, do you have any tips on how to decide which agencies to subscribe to? Do you have any suggestions, some that are not worth it? I think all of them that seem legit and that are legit, that have been mentioned on our website, I think all of those are worth it or can be considered. I personally have used border estates before. That worked fine for me. But there's also a lot of other agencies that work fine. I think it's just about seeing which ones have the best selection. So if it looks like they only have one place available for students every month, then maybe it's not worth paying that agency fee. But otherwise just see what works for you and where you have the best options.
I would also bear in mind that agency fees, most agencies will charge them. However, they're not always legal, and you can make a case with the rental team. Maybe we should just tag the rental team in the chat at this moment.
Yeah, their email is visible here, so you can email them at info@hoerteam-Zuid-Limburg.
Yeah.
We have a question about when is INKOM going on. This year, INKOM is going to be between the 19th and the 22nd of August.
We have another question. Are non-EU students allowed to stay in rentals in Belgium? A lot of the listings on Maastricht Housing are located in Belgium, and I'm not sure if I need to apply for additional permissions to be able to live there as a Canadian student.
Exactly. So in the case that you are coming from outside of the EU, so say Canada, you need another visa to live in Belgium. So that might get a little bit complicated. It is possible, and I know that there are non-EU students who do this, but then you just need to make sure that you get 2 separate visas for these countries, and you might have to apply for some extra things in addition to that. But you can ask from the Belgian government what are the things that they require.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's possible if you have a Dutch residence permission to also get a Belgian one, but just look into it with the local governments. Does anyone else have any questions for us? I can't see if people are typing.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's visible.
I don't want to close the chat just in case. Okay, but like we said, we're always available for you guys if you have any questions that pop up afterwards. Yeah, and thank you very much for joining us today at the My Maastricht webinar.
Thank you and good luck. finding housing and getting accustomed to Maastricht and the Netherlands.
Yes. We will see you in Maastricht soon.